Hey folks, Don again. So this is stage 2, and this is actually one of the coolest parts of building something when you're building a custom piece like this. And this is the planning stage. And what's really cool about it is if you can sit back, if you have an imagination, if you can sit back and look at something and think about what you want to do, and then just kind of start playing with it, all of a sudden things start to come together. So I sat back, I stripped this bike down, I sat back and took a look at it, and I thought, if I'm going to make this thing into a kind of a lowrider chopper, I don't want the seat to be way up here because it's going to be too high. So when I started looking at this, I took the little basket thing that they had off the back, I took the seat off of this bike and cut the seat post off of it, and there's a natural little dip right in the bars back there where that seat just happens to fit there perfectly. And then once I had the seat on there and sat on it, I realized these pedals are going to be way too close. I'm going to be putting a different front end on this anyway. So what I figured I could do, once I took the front wheel off this, I realized that kind of height is going to make that thing really cool. So what I can do is I can take these pedals off of here, I can add a second sprocket onto the other side, and I can turn this pedal assembly into a jack shaft and run a second set of pedals on here. Once I did that, took this bike and lined it up in here. Sat on the other one with that seat on there. I extended my legs out to where they were comfortable, and my legs come out about to where the front forks end on this bike. So if I set that bike right there, that's about where those pedals can go, and they'll be in a perfect spot. So now all I'm going to have to do is cut this bike off on the top frame here, cut this seat post off, cut the frame off there, cut it off here, weld these two together, run this sprocket back to that one, and it's going to work out perfectly because these chains are different sizes. One's a 3-speed, one's a single speed. Most of the time that means the chains are going to be different sizes. I know not all the time, but sometimes. So this worked out perfectly because I can run a different size chain, run a second sprocket on here, weld it on the other side of the pedals, and be running it like a jack shaft assembly. And it doesn't matter that they're two different size chains then. So like I said, all I have to do is cut these two apart, weld the two of them together, and the nice thing is, for the rake on this, if I want to change the rake, I don't have to do any cutting here. All I have to do is make my adjustments there, and either make the bottom longer, the top shorter, whatever I want to do. And I can make that front end rake whatever I want to make it. Plus, this thing has a triple tree on it already. So I can take these tubes out and I can extend those tubes or shorten them to whatever I want. I can make that front end as short or as long as I want. So that's what I'm saying about the beauty of the planning stages. You can just take a look at this stuff and see what it is you're going to make. I'm going to have to do very little fabrication on this thing, as long as it all welds together properly. I'm going to have a pretty cool lowrider bike out of this. So that's it for phase 2. We'll see you on the next phase 3.